Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. If you like these ranking videos, if you like these, the concept videos, the artist videos, me kind of critiquing logos and jerseys, I would love it if you could hit the subscribe button down below. I was looking at my analytics the other day again, and 70% of return viewers are not subscribed. So the biggest way you can help me is by hitting the subscribe button down below, and that helps you in return because you get to see the videos in the future. So in today's video, we're going to look at an artist that we've looked at before. His name's Sawyer, and just an incredible artist, some amazing drawings, and he has drawn every single AHL team, redone his concepts. I'm pretty excited to go through it with you guys. I know that not everyone agrees with my number one rankings all the time, especially when it comes to jerseys, but I really do believe that number one this time will be the majority of people's number one logo. It is that good. I'm really excited for you to see it. All right, so let's get into this. Let's not waste any more time. Let's do it. I'm going to start off with number 31, least favorite. We'll go least favorite like I always do. So number 31, Hershey Bears. So conceptually, this is a pretty good logo. I can totally see, the thought process here and what led him up to designing this logo the way it is. So the reason why I have it 31st isn't really because I think it's a bad logo. It's because it makes me think of something else, and because that happened when I initially saw that, I literally, my mind cannot unsee it. So I don't know if you've ever been to like a cowboy bar or a club or anything like that where they've got this, the fake bull to ride in the pit, and then you fall off into the balls or the cushions or whatever's there, pads. This kind of reminds me of that. So now that I've seen that, and I don't know the name of that thing, but I think you know what I'm talking about. I've seen that and I can't unsee it. So while I like conceptually, it's a really good logo, my mind just can't unsee that mechanical bull. Number 30, the Utica Comets. So the colors make sense. Obviously, the colors remain the same as with the current team, but the Comet, and its trail, which end up making the U for Utica, to me looks like a mitten throwing a snowball. So kind of like the last one, my mind has seen something and I can't unsee it. So strictly for that reason, that is where it is. Number 29, the San Antonio Rampage. So, I mean, realistically, it's not too bad. I think the horn that makes the S for San is clever, but I think there's maybe a little bit too much distance between the A and the S, or the fact that the A and the N are connected. So to me, my mind almost disassociates the S from this entire logo, and I just see Antonio. So maybe if that A kind of came in or something, or there was a space between the A and the N, I find that just a small little tweak like that, and the building kind of being half cut off. Hey, it's not a bad logo. I just think maybe just some subtle little changes could make it pretty cool. Number 28, the Charlotte Checkers. I think this is obviously, it makes sense to the team and stuff. I think it's just maybe a little bit too basic for me, and it feels off-centered a little bit. It feels almost slightly left justified. I think the head, I would like to see it a little bit more centered and maybe down a little bit. It feels like it's not right in the middle, and it's kind of messing up with my OCD a little bit. Number 27, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. I love the colors here. I love the idea. It's like visually and graphically, it's very eye-catching. But to me, when I see LV, I don't think Lehigh Valley. I think Las Vegas. So while I understand, I know what team this is. And anyone who watches the AHL knows what team this is. But LV is just such a prominent letter combination for a city in America that I don't know. I don't know if L and V can be used like this. And again, maybe that's just me, just the way my mind works. But number 26, the Roadrunners. So this is actually a pretty clever design. So you've got the Roadrunner there, and it makes up the T for the city name. So is it Tucson? I think it's Tucson. But I love the colors. I think maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, though, for the T. Number 25, the Ontario Reign. This is, I love the colors together, that kind of gray and the purple, but it feels it feels a bit right heavy. There's not enough balance or something in this logo for me. I think maybe if you had like a scepter or something coming through the opposite end below, just to kind of balance it out a little bit, it feels a little bit too right heavy from a design perspective. Number 24, the Bridgeport Sound Tigers. I love the colors. You guys know I like orange a lot. The text on the tiger that actually says Bridgeport is made to look like stripes. And I think that's absolutely brilliant, but it's almost a little bit too hard to read. It feels very Halloweenish or something, ghostly or something. So there's a lot of clever things here, like the tail of the tiger makes the S and sound. And the other S for tigers kind of swoops down and makes a tail as well. So I think there's a lot of clever things. I think maybe there's just a little bit too much going on here. Number 23, the Binghamton Devils. So artistically and graphically, this is very well drawn. The tail of the devil swirls and loops around the stick, which is brilliant. And just notice the shadow work done on here. At the top of the tail where it meets the back, the light source is coming in from left to right. So of course there would be a shadow on the back side on the top of the tail. And as the tail loops down around, there's a shadow that the stick is casting on the right side of the stick onto the tail, which is, I mean, really, really smart artistically drawn here, and shading is just really impressive. I think it loses it for me maybe in the face a little bit. It's just a little bit too cartoony for my personal opinion. Number 22, the Colorado Eagles. I'm generally not a big fan of word or logos that are just letters or word marks or whatever. You guys know that if you follow the channel. So right away, kind of loses me a little bit. But the beak or the mouth of the eagle makes the C for Colorado, which is clever, or the E, sorry, for Eagles, but it almost looks like a C is where my mind was going. And then it kind of makes me want to say Kegels, which we don't need to talk about that. And we should probably move on. Number 21, the Manitoba Moose. This is a pretty cool logo. I definitely like it. The outline of Manitoba there on the left, which is great. I love the representation of a province outline. The moose is fine. I have no issues with it. I love the coloring. I love the eyes and the missing tooth. That's pretty cool. But to me, this really comes down to the current Manitoba Moose logo. I think it's fantastic. I think it's brilliant. I probably wouldn't change anything about it. And it's going to be real hard to top that. And that's really why this is where it is. Number 20, the Iowa Wild. Clever design here, using the I to make the O in Iowa. Not too bad. I think the text on the head just feels a bit out of place, but I like the conceptual idea here. Number 19, the Hartford Wolfpack. Love the colors. I love the fact that it has a hockey element in it. And again, really smart shadow work here. The stick is in the mouth. The snout or whatever will be casting shadows on whatever's inside the mouth because it's blocking the light. And he's added the shadow on the stick or the part of the stick that's in the mouth. So really just like thinking about or being aware of light and the way that it works. That's extremely hard to do when you're creating anything, whether it's a drawing, whether it's in Photoshop, graphic design, whatever. It's very difficult to do. And even in photography, when you're thinking about taking a photo and you're trying to light a subject or an object, thinking about the ways that shadows cast on things is really difficult sometimes. So Sawyer has a really great grasp of shadow. Number 18, the Toronto Marlies. Well, I do like the almost lighter blue here. It's very uncommon color, not only in the NHL, but in the AHL as well. I think the upside down maple leaf kind of, and then the CN Tower kind of coming up in Marlies. I don't know if you watch Stranger Things, but it feels like the upside down world or whatever. There's two things almost opposite. I know it's not, but my mind just kind of feels that way. And but it's pretty smart. I mean, the upside down maple leaf makes the M for Marlies, so it is a pretty cool logo. Number 17, the Rockford Ice Hogs. Not really anything to complain about here. It's a fine logo. I think I'd like to see the end of the stick come through the other hand, though. It feels like a short stick a little bit. But the end of the R, the kind of turns into the pigtail. Pretty clever. Number 16, the Bakersfield Condors. This is a really good example of a simplified logo. I mean, we get no text here. It's just the claw of the condor, and it makes this the C for condor. I think, though, this would be a really good shoulder patch. In fact, if this was, shoulder patches redrawn or something, I would say that this is probably the perfect shoulder patch. It's really simple. It's easy to understand. But as far as a crest on the front, I don't know. I think it loses me personally. Number 15, the Chicago Wolves. So a pretty clever design here. We've got the wolf in here, obviously. Then you have Sears Tower or Willis Tower, whatever it's called. So, there's a representation of the city, the S or the CHI for Chicago that's in there. I think this would look really, really good on a jersey. Number 14, the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. I love the hockey elements in here. The helmet, the missing tooth, the war wound on the beak, the angry look in the face. I think it's just, for me personally, just a little bit too cartoony. But I think a lot of people will maybe disagree with me and have this ranked high in their list. And there's nothing wrong with that. Number 13, the Milwaukee Admirals. So much like the Manitoba Moose, I'm just such a huge fan of the current AHL, or the current Milwaukee Admirals AHL logo that it's really hard to do better for me. But Sawyer did a really good job here. I love the colors. This is by no means a bad logo whatsoever. I actually don't even really have anything negative to say. I love that the cannons are firing some hockey pucks out of the ship there. It's a pretty cool logo. I could totally see this being a shoulder patch. And if you look at the top flag, see a little cutout in the bottom on the left. You can see the M for Milwaukee. Smart, Sawyer. Number 12, the Springfield Thunderbirds. So, kind of like the last one, kind of like the Manitoba Moose, I do really like the current Springfield logo, and so it's, again, kind of hard to top for me. But this one is a really good, really well done logo. I think there's a small conflicting factor here, though, where the text is almost as big as the head, so we have two commanding elements that it's kind of battling with each other. Which is the primary element? Is the Thunderbird head the primary element, or is the text? And then we get some lightning down below fighting a little bit. So my mind kind of like bounces around a little bit when I'm figuring this out. Number 11 is the Rochester Americans. So this is a really interesting take on kind of like just simplifying the logo really, really intelligently. You got the soldier in there, but it kind of looks like maybe he has some hockey equipment on, maybe a helmet or something. And then you have the iconic, everyone's aware of that iconic statue of them hoisting the flag. So that's on there. You get, I can see the representation there of the American flag, which obviously makes sense considering the team name. And then the whole thing itself makes an A for Americans. Well, the intelligent design that went into this one is fantastic. I think maybe it just loses it for me a little bit in the fact that it's all shadowed. I would maybe want to see some detail in here of that specific person, whether it's a soldier or whether it's a hockey player wearing equipment. I kind of want to see what they're up to or what they look like. Number 10, the Texas Stars. So again, like I said, I'm not really a fan of word marks or fonts or anything like that as a primary logo, but this one I think is very well done. I would tweak a couple of things though. I think if you made the stick a little bit longer, scooch the S to the right, scooch the R to the right, scooch the A to the right a little bit, it would really straighten up that A, because currently the it's just kind of like, you ever look at one of those mirrors, like really really old glass even, that kind of like warbles and wobbles and you look through it and everything kind of distorts. I feel like the A is having that happen to it. So I think if you shift everything to the right a little bit, it would kind of fix that A's problem. And if you did that, I really would absolutely love this logo on it, and specifically on a jersey. I think this would be very clean. Number 9, the Laval Rocket. I mean, I'm an aviation geek. I'm a NASA geek. I'm a space geek. So anytime you're going to throw a rocket in there, it's probably going to be in the top 10. It's going to put that out there. So the rocket and then the exhaust, the flames, the fire of the rocket makes up the L for Laval, which is great, or Laval, whatever you want to say it. I don't care. But it's pretty smart. It's pretty cool. So yeah, good job. Number 8, the Grand Rapids Griffins. This is, I believe, Detroit's farm team or affiliate team. And it's very well done. I feel kind of like the other one before. I felt like there was kind of some battling elements. You could kind of make that argument here a little bit, but I think there's enough separation in solid graphic on top with the griffin, and then the text. There's so much white space with the text. I feel like there's enough separation there where it's okay. They're not really battling. The tail of the griffin that comes down and makes the G incredibly brilliant, and he's added some actual like dimension and a bevel to the text with the shading that he's done. So again, complimenting the shading, very well done. Number 7, the Belleville Senators or Sens. Again, shading is absolutely brilliant here, and I think another smart thing was you can see the head there, very similar to their stylization now, and even the Ottawa Senators, of course. But the cape or whatever that is that's coming back down off of the head makes the S for Sens. So just a really simple logo. I think it would look fantastic on a jersey. Number 6, tremendous logo. I love the colors. It's a little police car-ish with the red and the blue, but it's fantastic. I love the silhouetted skyline in the background. I love that it's all kind of contained into a shield a little bit. It does remind me of a guitar pick, though, so that's like super critical gripe there. But that monster's eyes, like that is the best part, just boom, piercing into your soul. Number 5, the Stockton Heat, and this this thing is clever. Like you don't get a super fancy font for Heat. It's just kind of like a blocky, bold jumping off because of the way that it's colored. Not only did he color it in orange to match the flame, but he did the sides a yellow to give it, like it looks like it's sticking off of the paper by that much. So again, intelligent design. The S kind of comes up with the flames to make Stockton. I think this would look specifically amazing on a jersey. Number 4, the Syracuse Crunch. Again, a smart design. The mouth of this, I would assume it's a Yeti or an abominable snowman or something, makes the C and crunch. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. Like in was it the San Antonio Rampage that we looked at earlier? I think it was one of the ones near the bottom. The horn or the whatever made the S, and it didn't work for me. Here, brilliant. I think it's perfect. This is incredibly smart. This is one of the best drawn logos I've ever seen. Fantastic job. Number 3, the San Diego Gulls. So I think maybe here's where some people have some criticism. Why do you have this so high compared to the Wilkes-Barre one, which is all kind of cartoony as well? Because this one is a little cartoony. And I think it really comes down to colors and just layout of design. I love the fact that you get the palm tree that turns into a hockey stick. The colors work really well together. Blue and orange, in my opinion, always look fantastic together, and a really great shade of each color here. And just the separation of the two, San is in orange and Diego is in blue. Just a subtle little change like that is pretty cool. I mean, he's wearing a hockey jersey too, so, full props. Number 2, the San Jose Barracuda. So this is again, I love that when artists and designers use outlines of states or provinces in their logos. Obviously, that's California, but it's got a pretty cool bite out of it. So that's, it gives it some menacing feel. The Barracuda kind of swoops down, kind of going through the lower third of the graphic. Just, there's leading lines in here. It's weighted nicely. The colors work great. It's angry. Just a fantastic logo in my opinion. And number 1, the one that I'm really excited to show you guys about, I really do think that this is going to be like number 1 in a lot of people's list, the Providence Bruins. This is such a smart design. It's not even funny. How someone has not come up with this and put it on their jersey yet is beyond me. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So obviously you see the P in there, and that also makes up the B, but it's like being crushed, and it's like almost cement, and it's breaking, and then the teeth, they're just coming around. It's so simple. It's not complicated. It's not full of text. The graphic isn't too like busy or in your face. It's menacing. The colors are perfect. Their shadow, like this is the perfect logo. I honestly have no negative criticism here. I absolutely love it. Sawyer, fantastic job. I would love it if you guys could let me know your favorite logo that I just showed you down below, because I'm sure Sawyer's going to read the comments and he's going to want some, some creative feedback and some criticism. Don't just say like, I really kind of dislike when people say these are all trash or these all suck, whether it's jerseys or logos. You can feel that way. I'm not saying don't feel that way. If you think these are all crap or whatever, say that, but give a reason behind why you're saying what you're saying. If you just say these are all trash, your comment or your opinion doesn't really have a lot of weight. Like if you actually explain yourself and say why something is bad or why something is good, it just has a lot more validity. Like it just makes your opinion more valid. So if you have the time and you want to leave a comment, whether it's positive or negative, explain yourself. That really helps the artist, Sawyer in this instance, learn and because people who submit these to me or people who put them out in public or whatever, they know they're going to get criticism, negative criticism. So Sawyer's already prepared to get some negative criticism. If I put artwork out there, I would feel the same way. It's just like I am with my photography. I know that someone out there is not going to like it or they're going to say something negative. But anytime that I see some negative criticism, as long as it's done constructively and filled in with a comment that has some weight behind it and a reason, totally fine with it. I love those logos because that helps me. So if you guys could help Sawyer, if you're going to leave negative comment on anything, help him out by giving him some feedback, some constructive feedback. And of course, obviously, if you're going to leave some positive feedback, that's always a good thing. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Sawyer, for submitting your drawn logos. Just incredibly talented you are. It's unbelievable. So hope you guys are having an awesome day. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button down below. And there's a little bell icon too. If you click that and you select all, it'll notify you of every single upload that I make. And I'm usually uploading about once every day, bare minimum. Sometimes like once a week or once every 2 weeks, I'll upload 2 videos a day. So I would love it if you could join me here. Thank you guys so much. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video. Adios.